Hi guys, so I wanted to make this video mainly as a reminder to dot your I's and cross your T's when you are getting started with reservations, checking them in and out, because recently things seem to be a little bit off with Turo support, primarily when it comes to the reimbursement of fees. And I'll kind of walk you through a situation that I just experienced this week, and this was one of a few situations that I came across. So I had a rental. It was like a 3-day booking for my Corvette. It was heavily discounted because it's slow time of the year and it was during the weekday, and the renter was wanting to extend her trip, which was totally fine, but she was asking me for additional miles which were not included with the extension. And I told her that because the car was already so heavily discounted, you literally cannot find a Corvette for this price anywhere else, that I could not offer any leeway on the miles because, you know, that would just be way too much of an expense for me, and so the per mile cost would apply. However, with her knowing that, she continued to extend the trip for another 3 days and ended up going over her miles by a couple $100, where it's a 200 plus. I think maybe it was like $250 or so. So as usual, the reservation ended. I went ahead and I submitted the reimbursement request for the additional miles, and she disputed it, asking me if we could work something out. Now, prior to that, in our conversation, she had asked me what was the starting mileage, so I told her, and then I told her that I could not move forward with giving her any leeway on the mileage because it just wouldn't make sense for me. So in the end, for whatever reason, she decided to dispute it, and when that happens, it goes to Turo support. Well, Turo support went ahead and sent me an email saying, oh, can you please send us photos of the odometer, the starting and the ending mileage? And so because I was in a hurry and I was on the road, I just emailed back saying, oh, please refer to the photos under the trip reservation, because both the check-in odometer and the checkout the photos are there. So they went ahead and did that, and then I got an email saying that my request for a reimbursement through the claims department was denied because the photo of the starting odometer was not uploaded within 24 hours of the start of the reservation. And so when I went back and I looked at what happened, I noticed that some of the pictures didn't upload because Turo's system was having an issue with uploading photos, and I kept getting that error response where your photos weren't uploaded. So I didn't realize that the odometer photo wasn't uploaded. And so when I did upload it, it showed it that I had uploaded it after the fact, 24 hours after the reservation. And in the past, this has never, ever been an issue in claims. Whenever you're missing photos, I talk about this in my old videos, they simply just request that you send them the photos, and to verify it, they'll check the metadata on the photos just to make sure that they were taken at the proper time. So when I reached out to support saying, oh, that's really surprising, because obviously I did take the photo at the right time. The mileage in the photo matches the odometer check-in reading, and it also matches my messaging communication back and forth with the girl, which took place early on during the reservation. So there's literally 3 different accounts of the same exact mileage. It did not differ in any way, shape, or form. And so I went ahead, sent them that email, and said, this is not how you guys usually do things. You guys usually just ask for a photo and then you'll verify the metadata and let me know that, it all checks out, and then follow through with the reimbursement. Well, they got back to me saying that, unfortunately, they regret that they can't honor this reimbursement, and that it's my responsibility to make sure that the photos are uploaded. And that very day I had reservations where I could not upload photos, and I brought that to their attention, and they just said, oh, well, you need to contact support, which, doesn't make sense when you're somebody that has so many cars and you're doing so many check-ins and checkouts every day. And if the app is having issues with uploading photos, you're not going to call support every single time that you're having issues uploading photos, which is why I think them checking the metadata is a great backup plan to that. Well, anyways, long story short, they denied the reimbursement request, and I think what happened is this is my take on the situation. This girl who rented the car, she made a huge fuss about not wanting to have to pay for the miles, even though I was really clear about the fact that she was going to have to do that. This girl also has had about 20 trips in her history, and she has a good history with Turo. So I think that they were not in favor of honoring this reimbursement request, and they used this as a way of not doing it because she is a good renter on Turo and probably, you know, it frequently spends money with them. And you don't have very many of those types of renters out there. It's not often that you come across somebody that has 20 plus trips under their account. So I think this was in an effort to retain her as a customer and rule it in her favor. That's honestly what I think is what happened. But then again, at the same time, it seems like over these last couple weeks, other people have been having similar issues like this. I've had a whole mess of messages on Instagram and on YouTube about people complaining that, you know, their reimbursement requests were being denied and that they weren't being paid out the proper fees. I had another issue with a late return too, which I can talk about in a separate video. So I'm really not too sure what's going on with support. Definitely not happy about it. You know, that's a pretty big chunk of money for them to deny, especially when clearly like the evidence is there and even the girl communicated what the starting mileage was. So that just seemed to be really unfair and really not inconsistent with the way that they do things. And I think that's the thing that definitely made me the most frustrated, is that it was inconsistent with the way that they've always done things, and that's what didn't make sense. If they've never checked metadata before or never have requested for photos that, you know, weren't under a trip before, then that's one thing. Okay, my bad, I didn't upload that photo during the proper timing. But the fact that they've done this so many times in the past and this is a norm with their claim support, and then all of a sudden they're telling me that they can't do that, that is incredibly frustrating. So with all that said, make sure that, you know, especially this time of the year, it's slow, that you are dotting your I's and crossing your T's, and that you're doing everything to the T. Make sure that you're on point, because it seems like for whatever reason, they are giving a little bit of trouble lately. I don't know what changes they're going through or what it might be, but just keep that in the back of your mind and just make sure that you're double, triple checking everything when it comes to checking in and checking out your reservations. All right, guys, let me know if you guys have experienced anything like this recently. I'd really like to know how commonly this is happening, so please do share that in the comments section. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.